Jewelry isn't a gift you give just once. It's a way to remind your loved one of a beautiful moment every time they see it. Blue Nile can help you find the gift that says how you feel and says it beautifully, with expert guidance and a wide assortment of jewelry of the highest quality at the best price. Go to BlueNile.com and experience the convenience of shopping Blue Nile, the original online jeweler since 1999. That's BlueNile.com to find the perfect jewelry gift for any occasion. BlueNile.com.
Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
Last year, they went and took it.
He struck him out looking.
This year,
the Texas Rangers win the World Series.
They're here to run it back.
It's over.
This is Believe in Texas Rangers, hosted by Mitch Ferreldis.
You wish it could have been anybody else. Welcome into this edition of Believe in Texas Rangers. Be sure if you like what you're listening to, you like, subscribe, rate 5 stars, you tell your friends, share with your friends. You can also watch every episode on Believe in Texas Rangers on YouTube, or you can just search my name, Mitch Ferreldis. You can listen to podcasts either on Apple, Spotify, or on the Believe Podcast landing page. We come at you multiple times a week, getting you bite-sized content on your Texas Rangers. And we're going to start with the events that just took place in Colorado, or the lacking of events that just took place in Colorado. In the 3 games against the Rockies, the Rangers proceeded to score 2, 3, and then today, 1. The Rockies, on the other hand, scored 3 today. They scored 8 on Saturday, and they scored 4 on Friday. They were beaten by the Colorado Rockies in a sweep. The Texas Rangers were. Just to emphasize how bad of a weekend this is, the Colorado Rockies just collected their 12th win of the season. 12. They have 28 losses. Meaning also, if they have 12 wins, they came into this weekend with single-digit wins. 9 of them, as a matter of fact. The Rangers came into this weekend with 22 wins and have instead added 3 losses. I'm not going to play devil's advocate right now. I will later. But for right now, this is bad. This is awful. This is despicable. Not that you lost one game. One game is forgivable. Not that you lost the series. Losing the series, you can find reasons for that. You can make up excuses for that. You got swept by the worst team in baseball. That is almost inexcusable. And again, I'll emphasize, I'm not playing devil's advocate right now. I'm focusing on the here and now. The Texas Rangers got swept by the Colorado Rockies, for Pete's sake. That is completely inexcusable. Not even one win. Not even one win. Bad weekend for the Rangers. But there was definitely a lot of good. And that's going to set us up for our first topic here, which we're going to call stock prices. Who's trending up? Who's trending down? And we're going to start with the up because we need an uplift after that. Scream, I guess you could call it. Stock prices going up right now. The starting pitching, which I think needs to get talked about the most right now because, 1, pitching in Colorado is incredibly hard. 2, this team is beat to hell when it comes to the pitching rotation. Like, if you go on the Texas Rangers website right now and you go to the section that's titled Depth Chart underneath the roster page on the Rangers website, the depth chart for the starting pitching rotation from top to bottom, I will read it for you right now. Nathan Eovaldi with a note, IL-15. John Gray, he's healthy. Andrew Heaney, he's healthy. Dane Dunning with a note, IL-15. Michael Lorenzen, he's healthy. Cody Bradford, IL-15. Jacob deGrom, IL-60. Max Scherzer, IL-15. Tyler Mahle, IL-60. This team literally has three active starting pitchers And they got an absolute masterclass performance out of each one that pitched this weekend in Colorado. Jose Urena, who was called upon essentially in a spot start because he started the season as a bullpen arm, for Pete's sake. 6 2/3, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, those both coming on a 2-run homer by Ezequiel Tovar in the first inning. 3 strikeouts, and a walk. A quality start for Jose Urena in under 100 pitches. Add to it the 2 outings from Andrew Heaney and John Gray. Andrew Heaney on Saturday in 5 innings may have allowed 8 hits, but only allowed 2 runs, another home run, struck out 8 Colorado Rockies. Had he pitched another inning, and he could have, his pitch count was relatively low. Had he pitched another inning, I know he pitched into the 6th inning and was facing some trouble, but had he pitched the other inning, he would have also gotten a quality start. And then John Gray, his first outing in Colorado since being signed by Texas. 6 innings, 8 hits allowed, a run allowed, a walk allowed, 7 strikeouts. Quick tangent on John, by the way. His ERA is down to 2.36. If not for his bad start opening weekend, he would be one of the best starters in baseball right now. So I need to do a recantation. I don't want John Gray to be moved to the bullpen when the time comes. I don't think that's a necessary evil, or a necessary move, I should say, anymore. I think John Gray is very much best served in his current spot in the rotation. And I'm not just saying that because of injuries. The whole argument for him pitching out of the bullpen was because you've got guys assumed to be coming back. That's not going to be the case for a while. More on that later. But John Gray is pitching so damn well, he almost deserves my apology. I mean, he does deserve my apologies. He deserves maybe a lot of other critics' apologies as well. He's pitching excellent these last several starts that he's had, including a relief outing against Atlanta, the best team in the National League, or one of the best teams in the National League, one of the best teams in baseball. John Gray's been killing it. He deserves our praise. He also deserved a win, which he did not get. Andrew Heaney also deserved a win. Jose Urena also deserved a win. You got 2 quality starts from your 3 starters, and you as a team in the 3 games in Coors Field scored 6 runs. It's really tough when the one side that you worry about the most in Coors Field, the pitching, is the one that actually succeeds the most. Specifically the starting pitchers. There was a rough outing by the bullpen on Saturday, but the starting pitching has been excellent in these last 3 games. In the games against Oakland, it wasn't necessarily the case, but these games against the Rockies, they showed out. The offense did not. So that's stock riser number 1. Stock riser number 2, another price to keep an eye on. Leody Taveras. And this is less about his defense because he's had a couple of miscues here and there. This is more about Leody's offense because you start thinking about it and you start tracking the numbers. In his last 7, he is 9 for 25 with 2 home runs, 5 driven in. He's walked 5 times. He swiped a couple of bags. In his last 15 games, he is 18 for 52, add an extra home run, add an extra 3 RBI, add an extra 2 walks. And then you look at the whole month of May. His month of May, he's risen his batting average from 229 to 258 throughout the month of May. He's slashing 333, 442, 556 in the month of May. This series alone, he went 3 for 10, scored twice, had 1 home run, 1 driven in, had a couple of stolen bases. This has been a shining month so far for Leody. And they've needed this too, because we'll get to the 2 people that are starting to go down in stock price in just a second. But Leody had been receiving a lot of criticism. I know because of his defense. But a good way to keep yourself in the lineup every day is if you hit well. And thankfully for Leody, and thankfully for the Rangers too, he's really started to put together a good stroke at the plate. And I'm hoping this translates to when he gets home. Because you got an important series coming up against the Guardians And if I'm not mistaken, the Angels are right after that. And those are going to be wins that you need. The Guardians, no joke. They are strong in the Central Division yet again. The Angels, we can't emphasize enough. Division games are so important in today's baseball, especially because there's less of them that you play. You need to have the winning edge in your division games. They're going to matter. I don't care that the Angels are bad. I don't care that Mike Trout is hurt. You need to have wins against your own division. You need those. So those are our rising stock prices. That would be Leody Taveras and then the starting pitching from this weekend. Stock is up on those guys. We'll see how it continues. Stock down. We'll touch on Josh Smith here. And I don't want to knock the guy because he had played exceptionally well in replace of Josh Young, who's still battling an injury and recovering from that. But Josh Smith has started to dip as far as the offensive production is concerned. And I'm not saying it's going to cost him his job, but 0 for 4 against a right-hander on Saturday. Got to take a seat today against the left-hander, came into pinch hit, went 0 for 1. And then in the game on Friday, he wasn't even in the lineup. They were going against another lefty, Austin Gomber. Didn't pitch hit in that one. 0 for 5 over the course of the weekend for Josh Smith against a team that, most people should have success with. This pitching staff on the Colorado Rockies is nothing to be feared. And yet, the Rockies got not 1, not 2, but 3 quality starts out of their, almost 3 quality starts out of their starting pitching this weekend. And Josh Smith has been such a catalyst for the offense throughout the first month of the season that it's starting to dip a bit, and dip in a way that you have some flexibility because you have Ezekiel Duran, you have Davis Wenzel that you could plug into there instead of Josh Smith to spell him for a day. Maybe he's just wearing out, but it's not good because they need him. But you know who they need more? Adolis Garcia. In his last 7, 3 for 27 with 4 driven in, a couple of walks, 12 strikeouts. In his last 15, 10 for 56, scored twice, had a homer, had 8 driven in, 21 strikeouts for Adolis. So far in the month of May, his batting average has dipped from 294 all the way down to 255. He's slashing 159, 204, 182 this month. 182, the slugging percentage that Adolis has so far in the month of May. He has hit 0 home runs this month. Adolis has. He's still an important run producer. I know there was a stat that I believe I mentioned a couple of days ago that in games where Adolis Garcia has driven in at least one, the Rangers are pretty successful. That didn't happen today. He drove in the team's only run, and they didn't win because for whatever reason, the Rangers offense couldn't figure out the Rockies pitching staff, for Pete's sake. But we're 12 days, I should say, into this month of May. Adolis can't keep going on the downhill because they're missing important at-bats from Corey Seager, who he hit a home run on Friday, but he's still struggle busing to start the year. Marcus Semion's basically playing every day. He had an explosion in Oakland. He basically cooled off this weekend in Colorado. They need Adolis's bat and his consistency in this lineup. Because when you don't have that, with everything else that's going on with this offense, you don't have anything. You don't have any sort of an offense whatsoever. He's the cog in the machine. He keeps things moving, much like Corey, much like Marcus. Nathaniel Lowe has been an excellent re-addition to the lineup since he came back from injury. He's like an on-base machine. But they're not winning. And they're not producing. Corey Seager's hitting 240. So the batting average went up a little bit. But it's because it started so low. Hopefully the day off in between the Guardian series and the Angel series helps. But you would have also thought the same, given that there was a day off between the Oakland series and the Rockies series. Maybe it's coming home will make them feel better. I don't know, but whatever is the case, things are not looking too good right now for particularly Josh Smith and Adolis Garcia. Stock is down in that department. Stock is up for Leote and the starters, but stock is very much down for Josh Smith and Adolis Garcia. Just to further emphasize just how bad of a series loss this was against the Rockies. That was Colorado's first series win of the season. And it was their first sweep since May of last year, if I saw the stat correctly. That's just not acceptable. It's awful. Hopefully it's something that can be corrected relatively soon. The Rangers also were one of just 2 teams to have not been swept yet this season. The Blue Jays now remain as the only team to have either not been swept or be the sweeper of the year. The Rangers are now out of that category. Another thing I like from this weekend, we need to give some props to John Gray, because as I mentioned, it was his return to Colorado. His ERA, if you remove the first outing of the year, I was looking for the number, a 1.50 ERA John Gray has, if you remove his first outing of the season. 1.50. 236 on the year. Like, he deserves the proper praise. All right, let's touch on one more thing. And it stood out to me. It was kind of interesting. Jamie Newberg, who covers the Dallas area teams independently now. The Rangers have caught 2 runners attempting to steal second base this year, which is tied for the fewest in the league. And he also points out, this is his opinion, and maybe he's right too, that's not on Jonah Heim or Andrew Kisner. The Rockies stole 3 bases today. They swiped second base 3 times today. All of them happened to be when Jose Urena was on the mound. So if you're looking for a defense for Jamie Newberg's take, that would be it right there. Urena is a little bit slower to the plate than your average starting pitcher. And that would definitely play in for a team that has definite amounts of speed in Brenton Doyle and Jordan Beck, and Ezekiel Tovar, I think, was the one who swiped the other bag. But when you got young players like that are energetic and can move on the bags like that, you need to be a little bit quicker to the plate, or you need to be a little more accurate or timely with the throws. Because I think to Newberg's point, it's valid, but you still need to have a strong enough throwing arm to get the batter out, or you need to scout for that better, right? Like, coming in, there are guys on this Rockies team that will aggressively steal bags or try to steal bags. You need to be prepared for those when those instances come around. And if you're not, you're in trouble. And you're going to witness what has happened the last couple of days, where the Rockies just swipe bags all over the place. All right, let's transition into the injuries, because, oh boy. Let's start with the unexpected one, I guess you would call it. I'm not really sure how to quantify his injury right now. Evan Carter. So Evan was in the game on Friday. I think actually, let me double check. I think he actually just pinch hit on Friday. Yeah, he pinch hit on Friday after Austin Gomber was removed from the game. He was slated to then start on Saturday as well as today, but he was scratched in both instances because he's dealing with a back issue. Evan Grant, who's with Dallas Morning News, went on to report that Evan is planning to see a specialist when the Rangers are back in Arlington on Monday. Please, 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 please don't let this be anything more than just a tight or a sore back. Because if it is anything more than that, then man, oh man, is this Rangers team going to be in a heap of trouble. Because you're already down Josh Young. You're already down Wyatt Langford. If you lose Evan Carter, you're putting your roster in a very, very, very stretched out, thin state. And I get it. It's not anybody's fault. By no means is it anybody's fault. But you need to be prepared for what's to come. And if that means calling upon some extra help from down in the minors, say like a Sam Huff or a Dustin Harris, so be it. Give the guys some run, because you need to stay at good pace. The Mariners are playing excellent baseball right now. The Athletics are surprising everybody. And the Astros, I can't imagine that the Astros are going to remain dormant for long. And the Angels, who knows? But the Rangers are playing well enough that they can stay ahead of the competition right now if they give themselves the help. They're clearly managing the injuries well, given that they're down, 13 of their 25 opening day starters or supposed opening day starters. You just hope it's nothing bad. But when that update comes, hopefully it's nothing severe. That's all you can really hope for. Speaking of hoping that it's not something really severe, but at this rate, it just might be. Max Scherzer, who's been shut down for the last week plus, he was supposed to have a rehab start on Tuesday, a couple of weeks ago, or a week ago, I believe. And he's been shut down ever since because he's now dealing with a thumb issue. Well, as it turns out, apparently it's a little more than a thumb issue. It is a nerve issue, but not a ligament issue. And it has set back his recovery from the herniated disc that he had surgery from. So it goes on to say it was originally thought to be a thumb issue, and it's actually ligament irritation in his neck. It was originally thought that the thumb issue was due to a ligament irritation in his neck, but it's actually a nerve irritation, it would seem. But they're going to consult with the team doctors in Texas tomorrow. He's also reportedly received a cortisone shot to try and quell the swelling and make the movement feel a little more normal. It goes on to say that he reportedly threw on Friday without issue, but stopped a throwing session on Saturday that was called tricep soreness. This is starting to worry the crap out of me. The amount of new things that are popping up when it comes to Max Scherzer just trying to get back to the big leagues for an injury that he's essentially recovered from, if I'm getting the gist correctly. Like, has he almost fully recovered from this back issue? And at this point, we're now just waiting on this thumb ligament nerve neck issue. Like, once more injuries start to pop up during the rehab process, then it becomes a problem. And then you start to really worry. And I know this is only the last year of his contract, but they're in a heap of trouble if they can't solve this quickly, or if he can't get healthy enough quickly, or whatever terror end of the world scenario you want to quote it as. Like, this rotation needs Max Scherzer. He's expected to be one of their top of the line aces. And, maybe I'm freaking out because it's early May, and there's still plenty of time for the Rangers to really put this thing into overdrive and begin that true title defense. But either way, man, I would like to see Max Scherzer pitch at some point this year. And I know that sounds selfish of me because he's dealing with injuries and unexpected injuries. But you also need to figure out what you've got in Max Scherzer. If he doesn't pitch, you don't know how valuable he's going to be for when or if the Rangers return to the postseason, or when or if discussions come around for bringing Max Scherzer back. Like, there's a lot of factors that play into not being available right now. And there's a lot of there's a lot of things to think about when it comes to whether or not you're going to keep a guy beyond his final contract year. One of the big ones is being able to play. And if Max Scherzer's not playing, he's not helping his case. And again, I'll emphasize, it's not his fault. Unfortunately, that's the business of the game. All right. Let's look ahead to what's to come as far as the Guardians are concerned, because that is the next team coming in to Globe Life Park, or Globe Life Field, I should say. So they'll have 3 games against the Guardians. That'll be Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And then I believe Thursday should be an off day. Yes, Thursday's an off day before the Angels come into town on Friday. Pitching matchups against the Guardians. And the Guardians are really good. They're coming in at 25-16. One of the best teams in the American League. And with new manager Stephen Vogt, it's been a roaring success for them right now. Tanner Bybee, who's got a 2-1 record and a 4.91 ERA. He's going to go against Michael Lorenzen in the Monday matchup. Tuesday, it's going to be right-hander Ben Lively, a veteran that was recently with the Reds. A 1-2 record with a 2.63 ERA, and that's a TBD for the Rangers on that Tuesday. And then Wednesday, it'll be back to John Gray for Texas. And then for the Guardians, it'll be Cookie Carrasco, Carlos Carrasco, a 2-3 record and a 5.36, ERA. Those are the pitching matchups for now. Very curious how they handle that Tuesday. If I'm not mistaken, Owen White would have been a candidate to throw in that one. He did not throw today, so maybe they're giving him full rest because he did pitch for a few pitches in that Oakland A's game. Maybe he could be used as an opener option. He hasn't pitched since, so he would be someone who's fresh and available. Jack Leiter has been sent back down to AAA, so he will not be an option for them. But for the most part, you have to assume that you're working with what you have because I haven't mentioned this yet either. Josh Sborz has been placed on the 15-day injured list, who also has a right rotator cuff strain. And this one's going to make him be out for a lot longer than his previous injury, which enough of the injuries, man. It's killing the momentum of this team, I tell you. So that's what's coming up next for the Rangers. I do want to close with just a shout out to my mom. I'm recording this on Mother's Day on the Sunday, May 12th. My mom has been, and I'm sure many of you would agree when talking about your moms. My mom's been instrumental in my life, has been my biggest cheerleader, an absolute rock star, obviously the woman who raised me and taught me a lot of things about just being a good person for the most part, taught me a lot of things about understanding life and getting through tough times, hard times. She's always been a nice ear for me in my life. She was one of the big reasons as to why I pursued the career that I did in sports journalism and really, showing true support of all the things that I care about in life, whether that goes back to my times when I was in band growing up from elementary school all the way through college, like whether that's my love of music or travel or the fact that she knows my favorite candy or what specific chocolates I like the little intricate things that my mom does to show just how much she cares I'm eternally grateful. And Mom, if you're listening this far in, just know that I love you. And I know that we don't get to see each other as much as I'm sure you would have wanted to, but just know that I'm always around and I'm always grateful that you're my mom. So thank you for that. And that's going to do it for this edition of Believe in Texas Rangers. We will be back on the day off to recap everything that has happened in the Guardians series. Hopefully no more injuries come about as I karma cap there right then. And then we'll get you ready for the upcoming Angel series and the return of Ron Washington to Globe Life Field. So until then, believe in Texas Rangers.